Number 21 is a special kind of question that used to appear a lot on the old SAT, the one that I took when I was in high school. They don't come up as much anymore, but they're still really great SAT style questions because they're very strategy heavy. We can absolutely understand these much better if we use our SAT math strategies. And if we don't, we're much more likely to make a mistake because they want us to kind of think about this problem using logic, and we don't want to do that. That's not really good on the SAT, especially because it has these keywords must be true. And so our brain is not really capable of necessarily thinking through every possible situation. And so if we arithmetize and pick some numbers, we're going to learn a lot more about what's going on than if we just try to think about it logically, right? Especially because now we're entering the hard kind of section of this section, and so we don't want to just use our logic. We want to prove our answers. So they're giving us very specific instructions that we're going to easily follow. In the equation above, A is negative and B is positive. Okay, well let's just pick some numbers to represent that. So if A is negative, I'm going to say that A is -1 and B is 2. B is positive. Where do those numbers come from? They seem like easy numbers. That's about it. That's really the only reason. So let's now plug those numbers in. So this is going to become -1 minus 2 over -1 is equal to C. So we're trying to solve and understand something about C. Our answer choices make that clear. So let's just solve. -1 minus 2 is -3, and that's divided by -1. And so -3 divided by -1 is +3. So C is 3. Now let's see if that eliminates any answer choices for us. Well, it definitely eliminates B and C because that says C is 1 and -1, so that's just wrong. And then C is greater than 1, that's true, right? 3 is greater than 1. Even write that. And then this doesn't make any sense. 3 is less than -1. No, that's just wrong. And so there we go. Just like that, this hard question is actually really, really easy. And I have no doubt in my mind that this is the answer, right? Like, a lot of people ask this question, well, what if I pick different numbers? Go ahead, do it. I'm not going to waste your time. Pick any different numbers. As long as A is negative and B is positive, we're always going to get this exact same result. So there you go. That's how arithmetize works. If it must be true, then if the numbers work, it's true for every other number because there's no other answer choice left, right? So if there were multiple choices that were still left, then we would need to pick some new numbers and try them in the problem. And that's not because we failed, it's just because sometimes that happens. And so our goal is to prove an answer, and sometimes that might mean choosing different kinds of numbers, like fractions or negatives or whatever, and testing how those things respond. In this case, we're just done. This is 100% an arithmetize question. If you're not arithmetizing, even if you got it right, I think you're doing it wrong, and it's going to cost you in the long run. This is an easily identifiable arithmetized question. So if you're not jumping to that strategy for something like this, then you're not going to be jumping to it for the harder stuff. And that's probably where you lose more points, but it all builds. It's all practice for the real thing when we need to know when to use these strategies throughout the entire test.